Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your weekly card reading. I'm Jeanette Byro. I'm a medium and a cosmic channeler. And every Monday, I tune in through cards. Now, the reason why I use cards and not just mediumship is years back now, Spirit said using cards helps to bring some sort of tangible link between the messages coming through and you, the viewer watching, some tangible piece to pull it together. Because for many of us, seeing is believing, right? So I always bring a little bit of mediumship in the beginning of the messages and then bring the rest through the cards. So this week, I was drawn to use two decks actually. So for our general kind of themes, I'm using the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And then for the specificity, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. So let's see what we've got going on because we have a lot of energy. We are now officially in eclipse season. We had the lunar eclipse yesterday, September 7th, depending when you're watching this. And it really was this kickoff to culminations, endings, but also initiations. There's a big initiation happening because if you listen to the podcast last week, I talked about how this eclipse season is the third of a series of three eclipses that were linked together and really, really important and very transformational. So last year at this time, we had an eclipse season. We had another one in March and then again right now. So now we're at like three of three. And that's why this culmination thing is really thick right now, especially with the full moon that we just had. So we're still in the energy of the full moon, but we're also now in the eclipse window or the eclipse gateway, however you want to see it. So huge, huge energies happening, lots of emotional stuff happening, because again, this is very much for you, the individual, rather than just collective. Spirit said in the podcast last week, there's so much happening in the collective. Right now, we need to focus on the individual. Okay. So I'm just going to tune into Spirit, see what they have to say, and then we will dive into the cards. So just hold on one moment. Ooh, okay, they're very, very fast to come through. This is the three guides of the light. And oh, interesting. They're saying that we are in the eye of the storm right now. And they're saying with this, yeah, so the energy that they're showing me, they show me a big eye, first of all. Okay. And then they show us, the individual, standing in that eye of the storm. And so they're saying with the energy of the lunar eclipse and the lead up to it, you were likely shown chaos. So probably in the last, I mean, August was pretty hectic too. So let's even bring all the way from August forward, but really specifically in the last week, you've been shown these kind of aspects of chaos in your life or randomness or just like WTF feelings, right? Where things happen, you're like, what is this? I'm not asking for this. I'm not calling this in. And and what they're saying is that this is bringing through awareness and surfacing and churning of the waters, but now you stand in the eye of the storm. And the reason why that is a really powerful thing and not actually as scary as we think, because we think the eye of the storm, then the storm has to pass, so it'll get stormy again. The thing is their description of the eye of the storm gives you your most power because you have so much awareness of the storm that you've been through up to this point. And what that awareness does is it changes the way you interact with the storm as it continues to come, right? So if we use the storm analogy, if you're in the eye of the storm and you see how heavy the winds have been, how harsh the rain is, you change your approach to dealing with it, right? Your approach to staying dry, to staying safe, to whatever it is, you change it based on what you know. And so they're really like, notice how you are in the eye of the storm right now. What do you need to change as you move through the rest of this eclipse season so that you are standing in your power and realizing how much you've grown and how powerful you are, your wisdom, your intellect, your knowledge, and your intuition. They're highlighting intuition for me right now. It's very interesting. Okay, let's see what we get in our kind of overall theme. Considering we are looking at the eye of the storm, let's see the theme is in the oracle cards first. Yeah, they're just saying like trust your intuition, and trust your ability to bring stability in right now. Okay. Oh, this is so neat. Okay, the Eye of the Storm. The first card out we have the Healing Lagoon. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. That's pretty significant. It's safe to stop. And look, she looks like she's in like the eye of the storm, right? The churning emotional waters all around her, but she's right in the middle. And it's time for you to rejuvenate, recalibrate for the next few days. I really feel like the next few days, really dive into who you are, what you're about, what you know now. What do you know as truth now for you about your life, your purpose, your journey? Take stock of all of that. And that's going to bring in this healing and rejuvenation energy. And then we also have Mother of the Salt Waters, passion, wild love, open your heart, let love in. And I really like this idea because it's like as we step out of the eye of the storm and it resumes, you can see how she's using the water. She's kind of like commanding the water. Instead of being fearful of the water, she's now commanding it, right? And that's what we're stepping into. Mother of the salt water, passion, wild love, open your heart, let love in. That's love of self, love of soul journey. How can you let love prevail? And that's not just like false positivity because I always like to be really real. Like there are really tough things we go through in life, really tough. And it's hard to just self-love and positive love. However, we can have those moments of deep grief, but then if we can come back to self and come back to love of self, and sometimes that starts with just gentle nurturing. Sometimes that's big, bold moves of things, right? But it's like recognizing your power to wield the storm. But right now, we're just in the eye of it, and this is what's coming your potential to be in your most power. So let's get some specificity in the tarot and see what else Spirit wants to share. That was too many. Do you want me to take these or not? No. They're saying three. I need to pull three. They're saying union and reunion. Many of you are going to be experiencing union and reunion, not only with self, but with others as well. Oh my goodness, that card. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, remember Spirit said three. I pulled four, but you're going to see why. Well, actually, I'm going to show you the fourth. The fourth one I pulled is Three of Pentacles. Okay, three things coming together. Okay, look at the cards that I pulled. Union and reunion, the Lover's card. Okay, we're going to dive into this too. Death and rebirth, right? Eye of the storm right here. And then Fool, brand new beginning. This is powerful. This is mighty powerful. Okay, so with the Lover's card, union and reunion with self, with others, with the divine masculine and the feminine, in your expression, how you see this, how you're soft, how you're action oriented, how you're flexible and curvilinear, and how you're also strong and empowered. It's this union coming together. I do get a sense that for some of you, this is really going to be this eclipse energy is bringing in that divine union for you too in partnership. I do see for some of you, this is actual partnership. Um, so there's significant union and reunion, like Spirit was saying, okay? As well, this whole journey here is literally a death and rebirth. Totally a death and rebirth, right? Like if we look at this like the eye of the storm, on the outside we see death, but on the inside there's an absolute renewal, a brand new beginning. So for those of you that are feeling like I am dying right now, I can't anymore. I can't do this. I can't make it through. I can't. And I know so many people are feeling that way. I can say I'm even feeling that way with certain things, even with my body healing. I'm healing a lot and it's amazing. At the same time, there are these little things where I'm like, why can't this fix itself or work or but it's this whole process, right? And it's my individual process and it's surrendering to it. It's a death and rebirth of so many things for so many people. And I got to say, I don't think there's anyone I've talked to so far that's like, I'm all good. Death and rebirth, we got it. We're done. We're good. I think everybody's going through this in some form right now. And that's because this eclipse is so potent. But here's the thing. I love this too. Thank you, Spirit. They also said, look at the order in which these came out. The first eclipse last year brought in questions and choices, because this is also the choice card. In old school tarot, the Lovers was the choice card. A lot came up for people's relationships, but also relationship with self and also choices in the first eclipse. Second eclipse brought in a lot of death and rebirth for a lot of people. Choosing, what do you choose now? Spirit's been saying that. But this eclipse here, this is what's really neat. This is where it comes back to these cards. You see how she's using the energy of the water and the storms. That is your Fool card. That is your brand new beginning. And it literally says death and rebirth on here. And you're rebirthing into the Fool. And these are all major arcana. These are big, major movements. So if this eclipse season is bringing us this Fool card, this brand new beginning, this rebirth, what are you rebirthing? And this makes sense. This is stuff that we talked about, or I talked about on the podcast last week. So if you missed it, check out the September energy update. What are you rebirthing into? What new frequency are you stepping into now? Because as you can see here with this card, right, the sacred geometry reflects the new frequency that you're commanding. So how are you doing that? Knowing that this is what's transpiring here. And you're stepping into this, right? You have your three things coming together. I love this. You realize that you are in the eye of the storm, but you are standing in a position of holding the power. How are you rebuilding it? That is the message. What do you want to do to rebuild it? You are more sovereign and more capable than you realize. This is an amazing pull. I was very curious what the messages would be and what the cards would be for this eclipse season because it's so big, and I am beyond thrilled with what has come out. This is beautifully supportive and empowering, and it really reflects everything that Spirit's been saying. So I will leave that with all of you for now. I wish you a wonderful week. Be aware, be open. You know, like that card said, open your heart to love. Notice what's working for you, what's not working for you, what has to change, and be willing to change it for you. And as you do that, you bring in your brand new beginning. So if you're feeling like you are dying mentally, emotionally, physically, there is a new rebirth happening for you. You're right on the cusp of it. You're cusping. So trust in the process. All right, everyone, I will leave that with all of you for now. I wish you a beautiful rest of your week. Please do share, subscribe, like if you're enjoying this content, and check out the podcast tomorrow. I've got a great one coming up for you, and I will see you all soon. Have a good one, everyone.